Hey guys, it's Nick with the Bass Hookup. Back out here at the ponds out at my house. And I just want to talk to you guys about something that I think everybody should have in the arsenal. Especially this time of year, you know, it's January. We're looking at a couple of the toughest months of the year, January, February. And this technique excels when the bite is tough. It excels all year round, but there's definitely a time and place where you want to have this thing tied on most of the time, especially if you're having a tough time getting bit. It'll catch, you know, limit fish, it'll catch big fish. And it's a great technique to teach your kid to fish or anybody that's getting into fishing. So stay tuned. All right, just to give you a little background on this technique. Well, it used to be in tournaments that, you know, guys would bang the bank and fish spinner baits, fish crankbaits, topwater, Texas rig. Those were the main things. I'm talking about back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, even 90s, before electronics were really a thing, right? You had to have a lot of money to afford one. You had to have a lot of money to have a nice bass boat. A lot of guys fishing out aluminums, fishing from the bank. But even in bass tournaments, you know, the electronics were not what they are today. They did not have GPS, topographic maps. You're looking at a paper map. And most of the island tops and stuff guys would fish, if they fished them, is because they knew them from just history, right? From droughts, from seeing them. So without those electronics, without the, you know, technology we have today, guys would fish the bank. Well, there was a few guys that used to fish offshore. A couple of them, you know, my dad, my uncle, Randy Stratton, they showed us this technique. It's all they used. They won, you know, back in the day, they won multiple Angler of the Year titles, TOCs, and a lot of tournaments just on this rig. It literally was all they used everywhere. I'm talking about all the Mother Lode lakes, Clear Lake, even the Delta. So everywhere they go, they have this thing on, and that's what we use. That's what I used growing up. And what it is just a simple, just split shot rig. A split shot, maybe a 12, 15-inch leader to a light wire, any type of wire, any type of hook you want to use, but this is just a 1/0 hook. You could use EWG, you could use a regular hook like that, round bend hook. And then the key bait that we used to throw on this thing is a leech. It was right now ProWorms still makes them. They still make these leeches. And I'm gonna show you how to rig it up. All right, so I got my 1/0 hook. Light wire, again, is key, because when this worm, you're dragging this split shot on the bottom and the worm's coming up behind it. Everything you tick and come over with this weight, you want the worm to, it kind of pops forward and just slowly goes back down. You don't want a heavy hook that just pulls it straight back down to the bottom. You want that worm to just glide. And the leech works really well because it has a flat bottom. It's this worm right here. Just a ProWorms Leech. As long as you're using smoking purple, you'll catch fish. It's a smoking purple leech. So all you're gonna do is just text pose it, just like you would if you're Texas rigging, shaky head, or whatever. So you just rig that worm like that. Now you have a pretty weedless rig, right? Your hook is weedless here. Split shot, it's really light. This is like a 1/16 ounce. You could use one, depending on how deep or windy, you could go up to a 1/4. But something really light. Throwing it on 8-pound fluoro. We used to just use 8-pound mono because they didn't even have fluorocarbon back then. But this rig, just dragging it around deep, even casting it to the bank, letting it go to the bottom and dragging it off, you catch a ton of fish on that worm right there. This is like the original finesse as you could get style bait. Of course, this kind of faded away because we have, you know, drop shot came out, and it was a while ago drop shot came out. That kind of took over. And then, you know, now we have the Nico rig, and we have you know, Ned rig and all that stuff that's kind of taken over. But drop shot's been a while, I mean, been around a while, so seems like a lot of the fish, sometimes that thing just doesn't work. Like they've seen it a million times. This still works. They haven't seen this in a long time. And that's why, you know, I wanted to talk to you guys about it today. The other thing is, it's an excellent bait to learn how to fish. Reason being, all you need is that little split shot. You could take it on and off. Any kid could do it. And all you need to know how to do is tie a knot. And you just get a 1/0 hook and that split shot. And whatever worm is you could use a robo worm, whatever worm is your favorite, and you're ready to go. And, you know, when you're a kid, I think one of the main things that makes people really good at fishing and, you know, fishing deep or fishing the bottom is knowing the difference between when they're dragging over sand, over rock, over weeds, and when they have a bite. Because a lot of people, when they first start, weeds feel like a bite. The ticks over rock, you know, going over the rocks feels like a bite. This rig, growing up using it, gave me a, you know, an excellent feel for the bottom. Okay, I mean, even as a kid, once I got used to it, I knew when I was on sand. I knew when I was on rock. I'd be in the back of the boat just dragging this thing, and I'd feel it getting good rock, and I could almost feel, I could sense I was going to get bit. I know it sounds crazy, but you could literally, I'd get this feeling in my stomach that I was in the right spot and I was gonna get bit. And it almost happened every time. And it's simple, right? Anybody could afford this. Anybody could set up this split shot rig right here. 8-pound test, 6-pound test. I wouldn't go any heavier than 8-pound. And then, I mean, I'm using a Lew's speed stick. It's not an expensive setup. What is important, because I like using a lighter split shot weight, is to have a light enough rod. So this is a 6.9. It's a medium light action. You can use a light action or a medium light. And then I just have it on a Lew's, you know, Mach 2, or actually Mach Crush reel. Again, not that expensive. This is my son's rod and reel setup, actually. So that's it. And a lot of guys do not talk about this rig, the split shot rig. And it excels, again, in the wintertime when it's tough, and in the summertime when it's tough, when you're fishing offshore. It just excels. The fish will eat it. So let's go down to the water and see if we can catch a few. All right, so there it is, guys. Split shot, Leech, smoking purple, 8-pound test. Middle of January. This lake's like 40 foot down from where it's supposed to be. And see if we could catch one. I used to do this all the time, all around growing up, all around the area we lived in. We used to go hit every pond and everything, and this is all we used to use. And I'll tell you what, every pond, you wouldn't think there'd be bass in them, and we'd catch them every time. So I'm confident that if there's something in here that's gonna bite, it'll bite this rig. Again, it's a really good bait to learn on, because all you got to do is cast out. Teach whoever you're teaching that, watch your line, wait until it goes slack, it's not going out anymore, and it's on bottom. And there's no rush with this thing. It hits bottom, reel up your slack, pull it real slow, just drag it on bottom. And this is where I'm talking about, where I talked about, you know, where you learn to feel what's on bottom. After a while, you'll know, okay, I'm dragging it and I'm in, you know, weeds, or I'm coming over a really good spot. I can feel all those little rocks. If there was going to be a fish, it'd probably be right there, and I can make multiple casts to it. Like right now, I could feel, it feels just like a rocky bottom. I could tell it's this type of rock, and the feel gets a little dampened because these rocks are kind of covered in silt and, you know, slime. But I could still feel it coming over those rocks. such a nice day like today, you know, in the middle of January. As a fisherman, you just can't help but think that the bite would be, you know, it's got to be good. It's got to be getting good, but it's still really early. You know, yeah, it's warm out here, but the water temps haven't really changed much at all. It would take a good couple weeks of it being in the 70s before that bite started to really get good. Oh, you guys, I see a fish. I see a fish right out there. I see a fish right out there. Let's see. I could fool him with this. See one right out there. Good sign. You know there's fish in the area. Come on. Eat that thing. Again, just working this thing, you're just going to work it real slow, just filling the bottom the whole way. And after years of, maybe not years, you don't need years, but after years of doing it, you become so much more in tune with what's on bottom, with what the different structures feel like when you're coming over them, and it helps with everything else. So when you go to use a jig, when you go to use a Texas rig or a shaky head or a Ned rig, you'll know what everything feels like. So just makes you a more well-rounded fisherman in that sense. And if you're new to fishing, this is one technique I highly recommend. Or if you're a bank fisherman, like I am right now, this thing catches fish. I'm telling you, don't overlook the drop shot. I mean, don't overlook the split shot rig. I know it got it's been overlooked because of drop shot and all the other techniques, and everybody wants to use the latest and greatest, but this is the original finesse rig here. All you old school guys, you know about it. Oh, I got one. If you get one, just let him eat it. Oh, did he spit it? Oh no, did he spit it? Oh, got him. Yeah. That might have been fish that I saw. We got him. Couldn't resist that split shot. Smoking purple leech. Just a subtle bite. Just pick it up and it gets mushy. That's right there. Right in my hand. There you go. Smoking purple leech. Oh, look at that. Just fell out. fell out. Nice little fish. Wintertime. What is it? January 16th. So right in the middle of January. Perfect. We'll take it. We will take it. There he goes. I think that was that fish we saw. Looked about the same size. Let's hope not though. Maybe I get another one. All I got to do is fix my leech. Just pull this back down. Make sure the hook's not exposed. And when they usually eat this too, another good thing for beginners is, you saw how long that fish had it. They won't let go. Typically, they'll grab this thing, and this weight's so light they don't feel a thing. They won't let go of it. They'll just munch it. Make like one more cast because I gotta go back. Kids called, they want to go on a bike ride, so only been out here for like 10 minutes, caught that one fish. Talk to you guys. So what I'm gonna do is make one more cast, and then I'll come back out tomorrow or later today. Continue fishing this and talking about it a little bit more. All right, guys, we're back. Day number 2. Yesterday, dead calm, warm. Today's warm, but it's blowing like 20 to 30. So I'm gonna try to keep you guys out of the wind. We're back. Like I said, I only fished maybe 20 minutes the other day. Caught that one fish right away, had to go. So now I'm back. I probably got 30 minutes today. And back at it, split shot rig. You got simple split shot right there to I got about a 15-inch leader to a 1/0 hook. You can use whatever style you want. And the smoking purple leech. And again, you could use whatever worm is your favorite. You could throw a rubber worm or whatever. All right, let's go out here and see if we catch some more. I got a fish. Oh, got him. Oh man, is it a good one or is it in the weeds? Got one though anyway. Feels like a good one. Oh, that's a nice one. Moved over here. Opposite of the dam. Second cast. There we go. On the fall. There we go. Split shot in the mouth. Strikes again. Again, it's not an exciting method, but it will catch you some fish. The original finesse technique. Before drop shot, before any of that, this is the original. And there's different variations of worms and stuff. But that leech, that ProWorms Leech, I'll put a description and link below. Another nice fish. Let him go. Thank you, sir. Let's see if we get another one of those. All right, guys, I'm going to end this video. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Try out the split shot next time you're on the lake. Just put it on a rod and drag it behind the boat while you're fishing a drop shot or whatever. Just try it out. Throw your favorite worm on it. I guarantee you it will catch fish. It always catches fish. It doesn't matter what time of year, but it excels again when the bite's tough, when they want something slow, and especially if you're fishing for smallmouth. So thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time.